Now, when the UN Security Council adopts sanctions against a country, the member states are asked to draw their own plans on how to enforce those sanctions. We're learning today that China has submitted its action plan on how they plan to implement the UNSC sanctions against North Korea, which was adopted in March. As our foreign affairs correspondent Kwon Soa reports, this comes as Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo gear up for a meeting to discuss the implementation of UNSC Resolution 2270 this week.
China has shown its commitment to tightening the screw on North Korea. A South Korean government official says Beijing recently submitted its sanctions implementation plan to the UN Security Council. Although South Korea's foreign ministry says it has known that China handed the report in on the 20th of this month, it did not clearly state when Seoul was informed, nor did it elaborate on the contents of the report.
Before the relevant country or the UN Secretariat publishes a member's implementation report, fundamentally, it's not for a third country to confirm it or mention it in public.
China seems to be taking more responsibility than in the past for punishing its ally for flouting its international obligations. It took 7 months for China to submit its plans for a resolution on North Korea in 2013. This time it was late by less than a month. The UN had called for the reports within 90 days of the adoption of Resolution 2270, which was imposed in March after North Korea's fourth nuclear test in January. So far, 35 out of more than 190 nations have submitted their reports. The reports will be translated into the UN's 6 official languages and posted on the UN homepage unless members specifically request otherwise. In line with this, South Korea, the US, and Japan will host an international meeting on the challenges ahead regarding Resolution 2270 at the UN headquarters in New York on Thursday. Seoul's foreign ministry says the meeting will be a way to discuss making the sanctions more effective, as well as analyzing each by field, be it travel bans, acid freezes, or blocking weapons of mass destruction development. With the UN ambassadors of each country, UN officials, scholars, and business people all expected to participate. As one diplomatic source says, it won't be a small meeting. Kwon Soa, Arirang News.